Hello and welcome everyone to the Powder Toy. In the past, I have shown off Ununtrium, which is the stupidly unstable radioactive element that is almost impossible to handle. Today we're going to try to use it to make a nuclear reactor, because I enjoy pain. Yeah, that's right. We're going to get something literally designed to be as unstable as physically possible. And we are going to make it into a power generation system, because I have nothing better to do with my life. So, let's go ahead and start. Yes, we do have a flesh element, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Not going to talk about the flesh element, alright? That's for you guys to see when the video actually comes out. Right now we're making an Ununtrium reactor. So what are we going to do? We're going to make a really small one to start, alright? So here's the plan. We make a very... So there's a few things we have to do. First off, it needs to be negative pressure so that the thing has no chance of going nuclear explosion. Nuclear fizzling bad, and it looks like we're actually leaking pressure from this, so we're gonna make this even thicker. How about now? We're still leaking pressure? What? Why? Why is this happening to me? Really? It's leaking out of there? Okay, great. No, we'll just make the entire thing negative pressure. That's fine. We'll just do this, and then we'll just do this, then we'll do this, and then we'll just make the entire thing in a vacuum. I don't think we'll lose the negative pressure from this. I think that's fine. Yeah, okay, good enough. So we have negative pressure. That's important to prevent it from overheating, or not overheating, but from fizzling. How about that? 800-ish, 600-ish, 5. Okay, that seems kind of stable to me. Now you'll notice the freeze powder is actually at hundreds of degrees, which is not very normal. Not normal at all, because it's supposed to be cold. But now all we have to do is use this to power an actual reactor. And for redundancy's sake, we will just put 2 of these down. Or maybe even 3. There we go. So we got 3 of these really cells that I've put down. Made the slight mistake of not actually attaching these ones. Whoopsies. So these are Ununtrium cells, which are getting this top bar of metal to 310 degrees, which is pretty damn good. And now what I'm going to do is actually build a system that will turn this into power. So let's go ahead and get our clone friend here. And that is basically the idea. Ununtrium is so unstable that it's kind of perfect for this. Just because you don't really have to do much. You need a tiny bit of it, just in a blob, and it will just always be very hot. So you don't really have to worry too much. Your biggest worry is obviously it getting too hot. But this generator is very effective. Possibly even too effective. Effective to the point of disbelief. So, I guess what we will do is just see what happens if we just slightly reduce the amount of coolant and see how it handles it. If we reduce the coolant of each by like 20% or so. Oh, I accidentally made a mistake there and made it leak. Here we go. Coolant reduction by about 20%, maybe a little bit more than 20%, and we'll see what happens. But we'll see that in a moment. So the Ununtrium has actually breached containment, and it's fallen into the freeze powder. The freeze powder is now over 1500 degrees, which it's freeze powder, so that's a little bit concerning. And I believe that that's going to cause these ones to have a bit of trouble as well. Reaction chamber. Oh, And now the pressure is actually increasing. It looks like it turned itself into plasma and kind of died, though, because the pressure went up. It actually fizzled out. So let's go ahead and open this up, and we have, we're going to have to go real big pixels here so that I can really see what I'm doing. Let's grab titanium and make a 3x3 box and just put a single piece of Ununtrium in it and just see what kind of temperature we hit. So very quickly we hit 300 and it should actually be accelerating. Although with ambient heat on, it may actually be venting enough heat. Interesting. Very interesting. A 3x3 cell may actually be enough for us to begin designing, like, I'm telling you, a legitimate micro-reactor. Like, this is insanely tiny, but notice how hot it's getting. So we could actually get something this tiny, and then all we have to do is get an efficient heat transfer. We'll just use, like, gold. Gold melts kind of easily, so maybe that was a poor choice. Is it just going to immediately melt when I hit play? No. No, it doesn't. It carries the heat very well, though. So this 3x2 grid of 3x3 with Ununtrium in the middle is now existent. We'll go ahead and put that entire thing in a titanium housing. And then let's go ahead and just very gently put it inside of, like, a bowl, I guess. I'll put it inside of, like, this circle. This should get the temperature up a bit high. Yeah, now the temperature is rising rather quickly. And it is at boiling. That's it. That could actually be compressed down quite a bit further. So we have created an actual reactor chamber out of these very, very, very tiny cores. And it's pretty meltdown proof, because if you think of it, it's super simple. There aren't really any moving parts for cooling. And it's so tiny, we have a single pixel there, so they can't really get close to each other very easily. The only thing that would be nerve-wracking is if the temperature wasn't stable, and right now it actually is stable at about 200. If we go to the heat display, you can see the ambient heat is coming out a bit, but nope, that is an actual functioning micro-reactor, which we did it. Good job, friends. We built a micro-reactor. Now all we have to do is make it look a little bit better. Let's go ahead and remove the water for a second. That's going to make it heat up a little bit more than we want. So we got to go kind of fast. We will go ahead and do magic. Watch and learn. I actually made a mistake, so let's do that again. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. I think those are the same height. If I didn't screw it up. Nope, that is. Okay, great. We close this end. And then we have water come in through this end, and that should do it. I'll just go ahead and build a pipe that goes up here, like so, and some sort of tank that holds water will be over here. All right, go ahead and get our clone tool. Put our water generation on the top. That is powered clone. That's not what we want. We want this one. Fantastic. We could automate it and give it some controls in the future if we wanted to, but here we go. There we are. The very, very efficient, very beautiful micro-reactor. Is it perfect? No. I actually made some major oversights, like not stop-gapping this with some insulation, but I can fix that at this exact moment, so that's not a major issue. Insulation, insulation. There we go. So now the heat isn't going to travel. Well, I mean, it'll still travel through the water, but that's a little bit less intense. We could throw some detectors on there, but we can pretty clearly see that this is efficiently functioning. Yeah, it's pretty clear that this works. In fact, I would argue that this could be simplified further and made even better. All right, let's go ahead and do that. This is a mini reactor, so this was kind of overkill. Let's miniaturize this. Let's just make the water tank a tall boy, which will be right here, like so. We'll give it a little... How am I going to do this? I guess I'll just plug it directly in like this. Put a hole there for the water to go through. Put the clone at the top of here. Water. Huzzah. Would you look at that? Do a little bit of stylistic choice here. Okay, wait, no, I made a mistake. What did I do? What did I do? Okay, so that should have a pixel there. And there. Got it. All right. And there? This goes 2, that goes 3. Okay, yes. Pixel there as well. Fantastic. So now with our water tower just very, very close by, only issue being that we are getting ambient heat, which is getting into it. So one moment, let's go ahead and grab some insulation and just insulate this bad boy. Throw some insulative layer on there. Is that helping? Not a ton. I think having a fan to accelerate this here a little bit would be a good addition. Come on. Oh, come on, I'm your biggest fan. I really need you to just do your job. No. It does not want to do its job. Did I make all of this out of insulation? Oh shoot, I did. The entire damn thing is made out of insulation. Oh, interesting. I didn't even realize that. Whoops. Whoopsies. Okay, let's go ahead and make this a bigger tube. I think that will... Oh, there we go. That's far better. Okay, okay. That kind of fixed the problem. Great. That's very good. All right. So... yeah, that is much better. Okay, far healthier reactor now. Great. Only issue being that this is literally made out of insulation, which it should not entirely be made out of insulation. I'm going to switch the inner layer for it to brick. It's okay if the outside is insulated, but the entire thing should not be insulation, because insulation can burn. And that means if this burned off, that the entire thing would just kind of leak. And leaking would mean that it doesn't get to the reactor, and the coolant not getting to the reactor means that it would explode, and that would be bad. But now that we have miniaturized it to the point where it can be this tiny, now we can have some fun, because I can copy this entire assembly, and I can chain them. Like, I can legitimately chain 2 of these together, like so. Without any real regard for the danger involved. And bam! I don't know why that's cold. Why is that cold? Why is it at the negative degree mark? Excuse me? Okay, there it goes. Now we have chained 2 of these together, and we have 2 reactors working together. Brilliant. Nobody could ever see this going wrong. Now with our double reactor power, I mean, nobody can stop us. I mean, the amount of heat energy that's being produced, it's basically free, unlimited, clean power from a tiny, tiny, tiny enclosure. Like, the footprint of this is extremely small. The biggest thing is the water tower, which honestly can be shrunk quite a bit, but I like it being a little bit taller. It looks kind of neat. So, with that said and done, the question becomes, what could make this go horribly wrong? Like, we have this, so let's go ahead and do some simulations, because we like simulations on this channel. Let's go ahead and put some powdered quartz into the system, which will actually grow in water. And let's see what happens. I'm actually kind of curious if this does anything bad. Does it need salt to grow too, or electricity? I don't remember. Maybe it was electricity. Okay, 1 second. Let me try to figure this out somewhere else. Let me just throw some water into a box, throw some quartz into it, powdered quartz, and see how to make it grow. Did it have to be salt water? Okay, it's gotta be the electric thing, right? Is it growing? Yeah, it's growing. Is it the electricity or is it the salt water? Huh, I'm not sure. Oh well, we'll use something else. Let's use yeast. Yeast will grow in warm water 100%. Holy guacamole! Holy guacamole, yeast caused an issue. Wow. Okay, so now that yeast has utterly clogged the entire system, let's see if there's any repercussions for this, or if it's able to handle it. I mean, that is a mess. That is an absolute mess. I cannot believe it did that much. Wow. A tiny bit of yeast going into the system has caused an absolute catastrophe. The steam, the pressure is building up. The steam has nowhere to go. The yeast is dying and being turned into dust, though. It may actually unclog itself, but it might not. And this reactor, at least, is getting pretty damn warm. This one's a bit cooler, but this one's at over 300 degrees now. I don't know when the dust spontaneously combusts, but it will happen. 305, 309. Wow, this is almost impressive. Okay, so I think the best strategy would actually be to just burn off. If I were in charge of this, I'd say burn off the yeast. I mean, sure, it'll heat it up a little bit, but getting the water flowing again is more important. Come on. Come on. And can we get the system running again? This is at 350. The gold's starting to look a little bit orange, I won't lie. And the brick in the water area is actually looking pretty damn bad as well. But it looks like we actually did manage to get the thing running again. So, will that... Yes, it has dropped the temperature a tad. Although, it appears to be still having an issue. Like a large one. What is going on? We unclogged it, why is it still mad? Interesting. This is still a problem. We're gonna have to... Ooh! Okay, that worked. That certainly worked. Oh! Yikes! It burned the insulation off. Oh, I didn't even consider the fact that the gaps in the outside of that tank was made of insulation. I forgot about that. Huh. It's still working, magically. Even with a big ol' hole in the side of it. Even with a big ol' hole in the side of it, it's still functioning. Best nuclear reactor ever, guys. I am a professional. No, it's actually still heating up. I think, remember before how I said that it gets hotter exponentially? Yeah, I think it may actually be at that point where even if we got it back online... No, it's cooling down a little bit. It's cooling down a little bit. Alright, let's just burn the rest of this yeast off, because it is an absolute mess. Jeez! Who would have thought yeast would be so violent? So, I think the mini reactor is a resounding... Oh! Oh, it's going up again. Now it's going down. I think the mini reactor was an absolute success. It's pretty damn stable, and it's pretty damn good looking. So, I want to go ahead and see what happens if I put some Ununtrium into an actual nuclear reactor that's not designed for it. Because I think that might be a little bit of fun. Alright? You guys agree? But we're going to do that next time if you're watching the video. So stay tuned for the next video. Peace out. Wow, thank you for watching. It's always so exciting to have you here. If you want to keep watching, you should go ahead and like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Charlotte is pretty hyped and is, you can probably hear what's going on. She says you should totally subscribe. So, thank you all for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Comment. Let me know what your favorite ice cream flavor is. I said flavor weird. That's it. Failed. But I don't have time to redo this because I'm going to Texas tomorrow. So, but peace.